All right, all right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, a little bit of technical difficulty going on in the green room, but we have some amazing guests. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. My name is Dr. Tina D. Lewis, and I am the founder and creator of Global Women Speakers. We are here today for our Sunday speaker series. I cannot believe that it is our 42nd episode. Yes, 42. 42nd episode. And so I just want to say thank you. Whether you've watched us once, whether you've watched every single episode, or this is your absolute first time, thank you for being here. We are going to start immediately. There was a little snafus, but I'm here to tell you one monkey, one technical glitch does not stop the show with Global Women Speakers. So I would like to bring an amazing powerhouse to the forefront. She is my Colombian sister. She's absolutely amazing. She is, I call her Dr. Mary. Listen, if you love children, if you love having relationships with your children, she is the person. But she's here today to talk about, listen, she's talking about mental health and having that peace of mind and that mental stability when you're growing a business as an entrepreneur. Because if anyone can tell you story after story, or who have faced challenges or obstacles when growing a business, having a husband and two beautiful daughters, and having, listen, a career that's highly demanding, it is Mary Dominguez, my Colombian sister. I'm actually going to bring her to the forefront now. Mary, 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 how are you, sister? You're on mute, and the best things are always said on mute. I promise you. Hey,
I
sister.
am doing fabulous. Thank you. Thank you. And as I like to say, mi hermana, Dr. Tina, thank you very much for inviting me to be part of this amazing series, the Sunday Speaker Series. And I am excited. I'm excited to share, as you said. I'm Mary N. Dominguez. I am the
Yes,
CEO
N-A. You hear that? N-A, N-A.
and I am the proud CEO of Parenting Moments. I also have a nonprofit organization, Academy of Class, and I get
Yes,
to do that alongside with my husband,
yes.
Jose, my two daughters, Ghislaine and Adriana, and I'm very proud mom, proud wife, and proud to be here.
Yes, absolutely love it. I adore it. So, Mary, this is Mental Health Awareness Month. Wow. And so, how I would say how impeccable the timing is impeccable for you to simply share some things about being an entrepreneur and staying tuned to your mental health. But, ladies, I just want to back up a little bit. This year is not over yet. And I know I see some people on social media talking about 2024, but the reality is we're not done with 2023. So I'm going to ask you to put the brakes on 2024. I'm going to beseech you to maximize these last 80 plus, actually less than 80 days now, right? These less than 80 days left. We have probably like 74 days left. I'm going to say maximize these last 74 days or so of 2023. I'm going to say while everyone else is in cruise control and autopilot, right? They're waiting for Thanksgiving. They're preparing for Halloween and then Thanksgiving and then Christmas. And their businesses are slowly slipping away. They're planning this major comeback in January 1. But I'm going to tell you, January 1, you are behind the eight ball. There's so many opportunities right now. Right now, it's still in 2023 because it's not about what you should have done, what you could have done, or what you wish you would have done. It's about what you're getting ready to do. And I'm here to tell you that if you don't position yourself right now for these last 2 weeks of October, you're going to miss out on, listen, on Black Friday, Small Business Saturday. You're going to miss out on Cyber Monday when people are shopping. You're going to miss out on Giving Tuesday, especially if you have a nonprofit. So I want to ask you to join 90daymax.com, 90day max. We are maximizing every single day. We have people who have launched challenges, who've just launched a book, brand new products. Yes, you want to have products. Why? Because you want to make sure that you have three types of income: passive, residual, and leveraged income. And so we'll talk more about that later. But right now, I'm going to move to the background and bring none other than my sister, mi hermana, all the way from Miami, Florida, all the way really from Colombia, Miss Mary Dominguez. And we have a special surprise for you. We'll talk about it as soon as she's finished sharing. So, Mary, I just simply want to say thank you for taking time from your husband, mi hermano Jose. I know he's somewhere close around, taking time from your sisters, your Airbnb, and just all of the other things you have going on to be here with us, Global Women Speakers, on our Sunday Speaker Series. It is our 42nd episode. Unbelievable. I would have never thought, never 42. I can't believe it. Okay, but anyway, I would love for you to just share some things about mental health, because I know for me, being an entrepreneur and managing, mental health, but as well as emotional intelligence, is extremely difficult, right? You have to have that emotional intelligence to make sure that you don't burn out, that you know which battles to fight, what to deal with, what are truly your priorities, and to stay focused on your IGAs. And IGAs is income generating activities. And so, Mary, you've done a plethora of work for over 25 years. I am honored to have you here. So the next voice you will hear will be that of the Mary Dominguez, all the way from Colombia, the owner of Parenting Moments and a plethora of other businesses. So when it comes to entrepreneurship, she is your lady. So, Mary, over to you.
Thank you, Tina. Well, it is a great opportunity to be here to share with you a little bit about my journey. And I will tell you that I started as a teacher. I decided to, as a young mom, that teaching was possibly the best career at the time, because it would allow me more time with my little girl. And, we get summers off. So yes, I signed up for that. And I thought it would be a few years until I transition into a different career. Instead, I stayed there for 24 years as an educator, and I aspired to be an assistant principal. When I got into the leadership role, I realized that there was more. There was more out of the school. And if you've met an educator before, you know that we go to school for 13 years. We go to college to get your degree, and then you're back in school again now in front of the classroom. And that's all I knew. I was comfortable. That was my comfort zone. And then I was introduced to the world of entrepreneurship, owning your own business, benefiting from tax write-offs, and benefiting from not just depending on the summers off or the days off that were not really off because teachers were working every day, but the fact that I can actually create my own schedule, that I can plan vacations when I wanted to plan, that I can share and spend time with my parents at the time. And that was unbelievable. I resigned from teaching, and I devoted my time to my family and to my business. And that's where Parenting Moments really hit it off. I still am the CEO of Parenting Moments. I get to educate parents. I get to visit schools and organizations, provide workshops and training. And with that comes so many other gifts, because as I meet families, we work on creating partnerships and creating on that mental wellness, as Tina mentioned. What is emotional wellness? What is mental wellness? And I think after COVID, many people realize that it was a thing. For many years, it was very taboo, or you thought that only a small group of people had challenges with mental health. But more and more people came out and talked about it and realized how difficult sometimes, because we don't face these traumas that we've had, we've experienced at some point of our lives, we just get busy, and we get busy and more busy, and pretend that none of that has happened, and pretend that we just have to be strong for everyone and everyone in our family. And if you're a parent, you're strong for your kids. And if you're doing all of that as an entrepreneur, then you wear even more hats, because you're trying to run your business and trying to learn from everyone. And you see so many success stories, and at the same time, you're overwhelmed with success stories that you wonder if that will be you one day. And this is why it's so important for me to share my journey and to share with you, to inspire you, and hopefully to motivate you, as Tina said, as we finish this year, this last, few months, that it's not a race, that it's something that that you can relax into this, that the wave has been paved, because this series that Tina has put together, it's really to empower you, for you to meet so many other entrepreneurs that are in it, that are doing it. Tina, as a coach herself, just being able to sit with her and being able to have information that you can just take your pen, write it down, and put it to action. And I want to share with you 4 tips, what has helped me and what I encourage you to put into practice so that you can end this year strong and start next year even stronger. The first, and this one's going to be sometimes a little hard to chew, but this is delegate. Delegate, delegate, delegate. And for many entrepreneurs, including myself, we have this, possibly this is you, this perfectionitis where you have to get it done right, where you think that this is the way that you need it done, and you got this control of your baby. You want to do it yourself. And nothing better than learning, allowing yourself to be coached, allowing yourself to be taught, because someone has done it and someone has done the legwork. And why are you trying to figure it out on your own? Once you know that it's something, okay, you've learned it, pass it on, teach it to someone else, or find out who's already doing it and allow them the opportunity to support you. It took me a while to learn this one, but I tell you that now that I'm able to ask, that I know who I can ask for certain things that perhaps I don't know how to do yet, or I don't have any interest in learning how to do. Yes, sometimes it costs us money. Sometimes it just costs us a little bit of ego, because we have to say to someone, very vulnerably, oh, I don't know how to do this. I need help. But it's liberating. So I suggest right now you breathe and say, I don't have to do it all. I don't have to do it all. You can, if you want to lose that mental stability that you get to have by trying. So I invite you to be okay with delegating. Number 2, set boundaries. Once, we always hear, that you have to, create your schedule, and it's really important. You set a schedule for yourself and you honor that schedule. And it's important for you to set boundaries with the people around you, with people that you are even networking with, people that, even though they can be great, potential partners in business, you have to set the times that this is going to be for your business. And this is a time that you have dedicated for your business. And no matter what's going on, what's breaking into pieces, you say, my boundaries have been set, just as if you had gone to work and you were out of your house and in a building. Even if your house is now your office and your building is within your office, make sure that you understand that you need to be present to where you are. Setting the boundaries, letting your family members know, listen, I know I would have ordinarily been there, but this is a time that I have set for this purpose. Stick to it. It's going to make such a big difference, because many of us probably have suffered from procrastination. And when you procrastinate, it's really an excuse. It's just that excuse because mentally, your mind wants to keep you safe. Your mind wants to keep you in that comfort zone, because that's what you know. And it knows that. And then if you're comfortable, your mind is comfortable. So once you set those boundaries and you stick to it, you're going to tell your mind, you know what? We can handle this. So I invite you to set your boundaries and let others know, these are the times that you can call me. This is when I'm available. And when it's out of that time, respect yourself to say no. Respect yourself to say yes when you need to, but it's okay to say no. And number 3, create time for those you love. One of the amazing things that I love to do, and I talk about it in my book, Influential Parenting, is really taking the opportunity to, if you have smaller children, take your time to parent, because you will be surprised. They grow up so quickly. When I started my business, my oldest had just left college, and my youngest at the time, she was starting 9th grade. And we went to school together. I was a teacher at the same school where she taught. And I thought that even though I was spending a lot of time with her, that I was really sharing quality time. It wasn't until I dedicated myself to my business and I set those boundaries that I started setting time, that this was intentionally, no matter what, this was time for her, for my girls. And I was doing the same thing for my husband, and it made a difference. And for those of you who don't have kids and you say, well, that's not it, or my kids are grown, I don't have that time anymore. Guess what? You get to parent yourself. Yes, I said it, parent yourself, because very often you might be lacking from that opportunity to just give yourself that love, that attention, to do the things you love to do. And when I say taking time with those you love, that includes you too. What are those things that you have stopped doing? What are the things that you like to do when you were a child? Maybe running, maybe dancing, maybe going out and with friends. This is your time. Just because you're an entrepreneur doesn't mean that the whole world stops until you start, making 6, 7, 8 figures. Because guess what? Those goals, they're always going to keep getting bigger. That's natural. You set a goal for yourself and now you celebrate for a day and now you're down, back to your next goal. What's your next goal? The only thing that you're really going to feel satisfaction for is when you get to sit back and say, I'm here with those I love. I'm here with myself, and enjoy it. Enjoy it. Because very often I talk to, family members, I talk to parents, and they're doing everything they can to get ahead. They're doing everything they can to do better. They're doing everything. And then something changes in their life. Maybe they lose a loved one, maybe it's a disease, unfortunate situations that cause them to reflect and say, why didn't I start doing this sooner? So I invite you today, if you haven't, put on your schedule, make it intentional. This is my fun day. Maybe after the Sunday speaker series that I stop, I'm going to, after I've watched this amazing, program that I do and I have it scheduled, I'm going to turn it off and now spend that time with my family. And don't feel guilty about it. So that was my fourth. Remember, breathe. Breathe. That's my number 4 is breathe, because everything that I talked about, and thank you, Tina, for coming back, because we're going to do this together. This breathing exercise is with the palm of your hand. You never leave home without it. It's like American Express. You hold up finger and you trace that hand, breathing in when you go up, breathing out through your nose when you go down, in. Feel the breath. And every single finger gets to feel that. You're going to feel serotonin. You're going to feel endorphins. You're going to feel all the dopamine going into your brain, those chemicals that are happening naturally because you're giving your time to breathe. So that's my nutshell, my 4 tips for today on emotional and mental wellness. So Tina, I'm putting the floor back to you.
I mean, you interrupted my breathing pattern. Like I'm still tracing my hand. And you know what, Mary, that was awesome. And so those of you who are listening, I want you to hashtag live. If you're watching live, I want you to go ahead and share. I see we have some. Hey, Tanisha Bauman, listen, she is a social media queen. She has a 21-day social media challenge that is kicking butt right now. Thank you, Tanisha, for being here. We have a Facebook user that says, yes, yes, yes. Actually, the Facebook user is Glendora. She says, Glendora here. She is a mental wellness and mental health licensed therapist. She is like top in telehealth. She's been in the industry for over 30 years. She's here. So thank you, ladies, for being here. Also, we had Edwina. Thank you so much for being here. We are having an absolute blast. So, Mary, some of the things that you shared were so like up close and personal and in my face. We talked about procrastination. I used to procrastinate all the time. Medical school, high school, it did not matter. I used to procrastinate. And I said, why am I always procrastinating? I would wait to the last minute and do all-nighters and still get an A. And so that was kind of, a double-edged sword, Because maybe if I would have waited to the last minute, procrastinated and studied, and then maybe got a C, I would have not waited to the last minute, but I would wait till the last minute and I would totally pull all nighters, go to school and get an A, which was detrimental, in my humble opinion, not just to my sleep, but just to my learning. Because some of the things, when you crush out a all nighter and you do this for 24 hours, what ends up happening is you're not learning the material, you're just memorizing it. And I have a ridiculous memory. I can look at something, I can remember where I saw it at, where it was visually. And I remember telling my fifth grade teacher, I said, you copied the book. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, you copied the book. And she says, what are you talking about, Tina? And I said, I remember that paragraph in the book. You took all those words off that paragraph. And she started laughing. And I remember her walking down the hallway while I was at lunch, at recess probably. And she was telling another teacher, that little girl is smart. Do you know she remembered the entire book? So yes, so procrastination is something that I am still working on covering. Like I say, listen, I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm going to get it done no matter what, right? No matter what. And number two, another thing you said is that, we have to make time for family. We have to make time for family. I remember my making time was family was, attempting to get my daughter to go with me to an event. That's not spending time with her. That's still my time is divided. So what I had to implement was mother-daughter days, right? And because she's so busy and I'm so busy, we still have to put a date on a calendar so we can make those things happen. So it's about being intentional and making those conscious decisions to your priorities. What matters most? At the end of life, it's all about family, friends, memories, and moments and experiences. And so those are things that matter the most. So what are you going to do? And Mary was really authentic and sharing a lot of things, but there are some things that I want her to share because Mary, during your entrepreneurship journey, you actually lost your parents, your mom and your dad. And so I want you to talk about that because this is about mental health. This is about being here to not give a handout, but a hand up. It's about being here to put CPR into somebody's life, throw them a life jacket, whatever it is. And I know that I've suffered lots of losses from last year to this year. Anyone who knows me personally know that I've lost over 10 people, not just friends or associates, but close people that are in my family that I love. One of my best friends committed suicide. Like it was horrible. But I still have to keep pushing. I still have to keep going. And so there's some things that I do behind the scenes to make sure that I am mentally stable, that I am handling my emotional intelligence, and that I am not losing it. And if I am losing it, then I'm losing it in a healthy way. It's okay to lose it. You just have to lose it in a healthy way. So Mary, if you don't mind sharing those things, they're very personal. Your parents are very dear to you. I had the opportunity of meeting my poppy. I call him my dad. I spent time with him, and I can tell you he was a gentle giant. He was a powerhouse. I want you to talk about losing your dad, and I also want you to talk about the project that you created because of him as a memoir. I mean, you guys authored a book together, right? So I want to talk about that, but I want you to talk about your relationship with your dad, your mental health, and actually losing someone who is a pillar in your upbringing, a pillar in your business, a pillar in your life, a pillar in your family, the patriarch, because he was absolutely the king. So Mary, back over to you.
Wow. Well, definitely, as you said, I think that when we peel everything off, when we peeled off that entrepreneur hat that some of us, we wear so proudly, I also think about why I did and I still do everything that I do. And I feel that deep down, that I mentioned earlier about parenting yourself. And deep down, it's that little girl that always wanted to make her dad proud. And I was able to live that. I was able to feel that I was making him proud. And the fact that I was, when I mentioned that I resigned from my job and spent time with both of my parents, my mom and my dad, those last 3 years that I got to share with them. And I will tell you, it's unbelievable. It's just understanding that it's not about entrepreneurship, about the money that you make, but it's how valuable you really can make the time that you are given. What are you doing with your time? I know for me, it meant, making sure that I had enough week to visit them, to spend time with them, and even write a book with my father. I mean, I decided that project where I was asking him questions, very personal questions, things about his childhood. And I told him, he told me one time, I would have liked to write a book. And I said, well, writing it together. And it's called Enslaved Spirits. It's in Spanish, Espíritus Esclavos. It's actually on Amazon. And in this book, he talks about his experiences as a young boy into adulthood, and choices that he made, and just giving understanding of what are the things that he did that he would have done differently. And with that, I was applying that to myself. Like, what are the things that are keeping me enslaved? What am I afraid of? Why am I afraid? And understanding that he was so wise. I mean, my mom was always a nurturer. She was the loving one, the one that the meal was ready when you got home. And she would get teary eye every time I was going back home. And my dad was the one that had the plan. He was like, this is what I want. This is what I want when I'm no longer here. And I get to live that legacy, just make sure that his legacy that he started continues. And as Tina mentioned, there, an Airbnb, that's another project that it's now, in the making, in the works. And we've, launched that project because of my dad, because I know that that's what he would have wanted, that he wants to know that his name is still here, that his hard work is paying off. And I proudly get to, that's why I mentioned Mary N. Dominguez. N is for Nájera. That's my maiden last name. And mental wellness, I will tell you, because I had those skills, no, there are no skills that you say are enough when you have to deal with losing someone that you love so much. As in this case, both of my parents, they died 2 weeks from each other. And this month, October, it was 2 years ago that I lost my dad, October 6th, and my mom, October 22nd. And that was due to COVID. I would say 16 days back to back. And a week before my dad went into the hospital, I fractured my foot. And I think it was at that time that I learned the real meaning of delegate, because I felt that this powerful woman that I was had reduced to someone that could only depend on someone else, because I was just out of everything. I told my husband, listen, you can handle this. And I had to trust that things were going to get done because I needed support for myself. And fortunately, I got that. And I allowed for that to happen. So I invite you that if you're going through a hard time, that if you're going through a moment where you need to be supported, then there goes my first, point when I said delegate. It's really, just be vulnerable to say, I need you. It's just a gift that you get to give the other person too, that's there to help you when you need them. And you might think you have no one in your circle, but if that's how you feel right now, I tell you, you're watching this for a reason. This circle that Tina creates, this is a sisterhood. You have people, you have women, you have people that you can reach out to that maybe you just get to meet now. And maybe it's just people that you get to connect in the past that you haven't talked to in a while, and just give them a call and say, I was thinking about you. We need to get together and do it, because we have one life. And if I could bring my parents back to share just a few more days, I would. We can't do that. Only our faith keeps us knowing that we're going to see each other again. But I breathe, and I know that everything that I do, I can do, because as much as I love them, this is the best way to honor them.
Wow. Woo. Judy says, how wonderful. We also have someone says, amazing, love this. Yes, that's what it's about. Ladies, we can come and we can all talk about how we are moguls in our respective industries. We can talk about how much money we've made. We can talk about how, we fly Delta One, how whatever, right? How we have all these accolades and we achieved all these things, but it means absolutely nothing without doing it with the people that you care about, or doing it for their future. And I had to pop back in because, this is very hard for Mary. Her parents were everything. And I can tell you that I'm not saying it because she's my friend. I'm saying it because of what I've witnessed. I would call her. I'm like, what are you doing? She was like, well, I'm getting ready to go see my parents. I'm driving my dad around and driving her. She wasn't driving, Miss Daisy. She was driving Papa around. But he really was a strong-willed man that got it done. And, her having that legacy. She wrote a book with her father. How cool is that? If you can take away from this, co-author a book with your children, just you and your child, interview your parents, because Mary's dad did some amazing things and she wanted his voice to be heard. And so by putting it in writing, now she's able to perpetrate and purvey his legacy and his own words to his grandchildren, to his grandchildren's grandchildren's grandchildren's. And there is nothing like that. So Mary, I applaud you on being an amazing daughter, an incredible mom. And I can say those things. I stayed at Mary's house. We went on a cruise. We had an absolute blast. And for whatever reason, I don't know if I dropped it like it was hot or I went down too low. I don't even know what happened, missed a step or something, but my knee swole up so big that I could not walk. I was like limping. I have a very high pain tolerance, and this was excruciating. I could not get on a plane. I could barely walk off the boat. They wheeled me off the boat in a wheelchair. And Mary said, don't worry, I'll take care of you. And she put me in a room. And when I say she took care of me, I did not move. Not only did she take care of me, her husband and her daughter, they totally took care of me and nursed me back to health, so much so that I did not want to leave. But Mary, I am forever grateful to you for that. I thank you for being not just my friend, but being my sister. And ladies, here's the deal. Sometimes in doing business, some people will become your business partners, right? But some of those business partners will become friends. And then there's a higher transition. Some of those friends will turn into family. And that's exactly what Mary has done for me. That's exactly what the Global Women Speakers are to me. They are my family. And I can tell you, I've grown a lot because of them. I learned a lot because of the charity. Our 5 core pillars are charity, community, culture, communication, and collaboration. And number 6 just happens organically. It is cash flow. I would never leave cash flow out at all. But Mary, you talked about, a tax benefit. I love that fact that you talked about a tax benefit of entrepreneurship. And I am not an expert at it. And Mary, are you an expert at the tax benefits you get as an entrepreneur?
I am not an expert, but I remember I surround myself with people that are.
Exactly. Speaking of that, we have, an expert, a master with over 30 years of experience. She's not just gorgeous, she's a genius. And I am so honored to have met her, to able to be in her circle and her presence, to be able to adopt her as a big sister. And the most important part is for her to adopt me back, right, as her little sister. And so I appreciate her. She's married to a very good friend of mine that I've known for probably 20 years, but I adore her. And I'm here to tell you that if anybody knows anything about money, business structure, the tax laws, but most importantly, how to utilize those, how to leverage those, because they are for your benefit as a business owner. And I want to bring her to the forefront. Her name is Barbara Odom. She is a doctoral candidate. She is a beast in every aspect of the word. Do we have Miss Barbara on the line?
You do. I'm here. How are you?
Absolutely amazing. Miss Barbara, do me a favor, pull your camera down just a little bit. There you go. Awesome. Right there. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Wow. I get to be on the line on a beautiful Sunday afternoon with these two beauties. Barbara is all the way from Virginia by way of, Atlanta, LA. She's been all over the world. And so I thank you, Barbara, for being here. What do you want to add in regards to Mary's story? And then Mary and I are going to tuck away and we're going to give you the floor, because I just simply want you to talk about business. Matter of fact, ladies, while Barbara is going to talk to Mary and share, her takeaways from Mary's story, I want you, if you have any business, listen to me. This is the disclaimer. We are not here to give professional advice. We are not here to tell you what to do. We are not telling you what to do, what not to do. We are not saying hire anyone. We're not saying any of those things. This is for informational purposes only. I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back. This is for informational purposes only, educational purposes only. And so if you have a question about your business, you want to know if your firm, your business, your small business, as you say, is set up properly to garner the benefits and leverage the benefits using tax laws and the IRS, then put your questions in the chat. If you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and put that in the comments. If you're watching us from our exclusive Global Women Speakers Facebook community, then go ahead and drop your question in the chat. If you're watching us on LinkedIn, Twitter, or my personal page or business page, go ahead and put those questions. They will get answered today. I'm telling you, I made a commitment January 1 of 2023 that I would only bring the best of the best. And anyone that you see on our Sunday Speaker Series, I recommend them without hesitation, wholeheartedly, hands down. Not only do I recommend them, I hire them and use them myself as well. Not only that, I will fight for them. I got to throw that in there as well. All right. So ladies, once again, I just thank you. I'm honored that you are spending your Sunday afternoon, because I know without a shadow of a doubt that you could be anywhere. You could be golfing, at a picnic, at a jazz concert, spending time with your husbands, your children, or doing absolutely nothing. And that's all okay. So when I say thank you from the top of my heart for being here on this Sunday afternoon on this October 15th, I really, really mean it. Thank you so very much. So ask your questions, put them in a chat, and I will read them, and we will have the expert, the master, the genius, Barbara Odom. We will have her give you feedback, right? We're giving you feedback. But in the meantime, wow, I mean, you were sitting in the green room backstage, Barbara. You were listening to the Mary Dominguez. I mean, I'm just in awe every time she shares. And sometimes I have to get her to dig a little deeper, because Mary is a happy-go-lucky. She's friendly. She's loving. She's God-fearing. And so sometimes, she doesn't want to share the hard things. But I'm glad that she was open to share them today, because ladies, this is not a walk in the park as people make it seem, because you have to build a business, take care of babies, and have burials. Yes, you're going to lose people that are important to you. Right? You're going to go bananas sometimes. But with that being said, Barbara, take it away. I mean, you heard Mary. What's your thoughts?
Oh my God, it was amazing. First of all, I'm honored to be here. I'm certainly not a professional guest speaker. So I am going to try to work through this process today. I'm more introverted than not. But Mary, I was very impressed with your story, and I was very touched. I was very, very close to my mother, and I lost her a few years back. And so I definitely understand the concept in regards to losing a parent and how relevant it is. You touched on several nuggets. You touched about boundaries. In my business and what I do, everything is about boundaries. Integrity is real, and we have to maintain that level of integrity in order for us to be a success in life. So your story, you're being an educator, you just really honestly had me at hello. I was impressed with just everything that you said. And certainly kudos to you. Continue to move forward with what you're doing. You can't lose. And one of the things that I've said to Tina, and I've said it often in life, is one of the quotes that I like to say is, and this is something that you kind of touched on a few minutes ago, which was fantastic. You talked about Tina, I think you started at first when you were talking about, the fact that we have 2 more months left in this year, and then moving forward into 2024. And one of the things that I said to you, you asked me my favorite quote, and I said to you, I said, don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment and make it perfect. And that really just went back to what you said earlier, because so many times we look, oh, this is not the right time, I'm going to do it later. Later may never get there, because we're, number one, not setting boundaries. We don't have a solid foundation set. And so those things is what helps us to be a success.
Wow. I agree. Well, you know what? Mary and I are going to tuck ourselves in the green room backstage, and we're going to turn it over to you, because All I know is that, Barb, I've known you for some years and I've watched you impact, change people's life, change their financial situation, change their tax brackets, give them benefits and just so many other things. And to be a woman in the industry, it's, in my humble opinion, it's male dominated. And most women, we don't deal with money. We don't want to deal with the numbers, right? I like making a lot of money, but I don't want to manage it. Like literally, I'm serious. Like when people say you got to get a budget, I'm like, dang, I don't want to have a budget. Like, I just want to go and do what I want to do and live happily ever after. But the reality is, I need to know where my money is going. I need to have my money as soldiers that when I invest in something, that is me saying, hey, this is my army. I'm sending these soldiers out to recruit more dollars and bring them back in. So that is highly important. The fact that I just went through, and I challenge each and every one of you, go through your credit card statements, go through your bank account, go through your PayPal, your Cash App, your Zelle, your Square, your Stripe, and find out where your automatic payments are coming from. Do you know that I saved myself $1,000 and more? I'm not going to tell you exactly. All I can tell you is there are some things that when you started your business, you opted in and you got a free trial and you never canceled. From LinkedIn accounts to CRMs to graphic designing to so many other things. Do yourself a favor. Do not close this year out paying another month of anything that you are not utilizing or getting a benefit from. I could not believe it. I was paying $199 for Sam card. I haven't used it in over a year, really over 3 years. Can you believe that? $199 times 3 years, 36 months. You do the math. So that is a nugget. But with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to none other than the master of money, the business mogul herself, none other than Barbara Odom. The floor is yours. We want to know, let's see if we have any questions. Let's see. Oh, I think we do. Let's see if we have some questions for you first.
Okay.
I'm looking on my phone. Wow. We do have questions. This is awesome. I love it. And might as well share with you that 2 things are happening. She's going to do a webinar coming up soon, and she's also going to do a relationship webinar. I know the last time we had the webinar, we had a neuroscientist, we had Coach Rael talking about kissing and the physiology of romance, and we had so many people that were loving it. You know, it's juicy. We all want it and we all need it. And Barbara is actually going to do that because I can't spill the beans, but I just want to tell you this. She knows about relationships. Yes, very wise. And so here are some of the questions, Barb, over to you. Okay, wow. I didn't know we have like 12, but I'll just pick a couple and say them for you. And then, so number 1 is, what is the best way to set up your business? Is it an LLC, C Corp, or S Corp?
Oh my God, what a great question. Just to give you guys a little background about me, I have a master's degree in finance and accounting. I have been in the industry for about 35 years, actually. I guess I'm really telling my age at that point, a very long time. And I specialize in what's the best way to set up your business entity. So there is a variety of there's 3 different business entities that you can have. One, you can either be a sole proprietor, and that's generally for the market of making people that are making $40,000 or less. But we're all really wealthy out there in this force. So we're not going to talk about anyone making under $40,000 a year. Okay, but the first thing you would obtain, of course, is an employee identification number. You would go to a professional and you would either get set up. Most people try to get their own corporate entity set up on their own. I highly advise you not to, because generally by the time you go and see a CPA, you're not set up under the right corporate entity. So let's talk about an LLC. An LLC means a limited liability corporation. What it means is that it separates you from your business. One of the things that I found in this industry is that people tend to commingle funds, meaning they have income that they've made through self-employment going into their personal account. Well, in purposes is that, then certainly you're in a position where you are not technically eligible to write that off as income. Everyone needs a personal account and a business account once you obtain your limited liability corporation. Once you've obtained that business account and you have your personal account, you can actually, if you want to pay yourself, you just transfer the money from your business account over to your personal account, and then that's called officers compensation. If you are a sole proprietor or a single member LLC, you do not have the privilege of being able to do that. Generally, if you are making 40K or more a year, we recommend that all LLCs elect to file as an S corp, which is in a form 1120S. And then once you're able to file or have someone to elect you correctly as an S corp, you open up major benefits for yourself, meaning that now you're allowed to take officers' compensation for yourself. All of this is deductible expenses. You're allowed to write off a lot of things. You can do a salary and wage. You can do W-2s. There's a lot more benefit, and you alleviate the 15.3% self-employment tax. And then let's just say you want to go to the next level and you're making 5 million plus a year, then there's what's called a C Corp. I do not recommend anyone making under 5 million a year to be a C Corp because there's a thing called double taxation and you don't want to find yourself in that situation. Those kind of give you a basic, because I don't want to get into a long drawn out discussion about it. Certainly just go to a tax professional if you have any questions regarding the 3 different corporate entities. And there's also a partnership form 1065. There are some disadvantages and advantages to being a partner. Filing a partnership corporation, meaning that there must be 2 people involved on a form 1065. You do not have the privilege of being able to take a salary for yourself that's deductible, but what you can do is called guaranteed payments to yourself. It's a deductible expense, but it's taxable income. So be very, very cautious when you're entering into a partnership filing on a form 1065.
Wow. Did not tell you she was the expert. That was a simple question, right? I was looking for, an LLC is this, a C Corp is this, and a S Corp is this. But no, didn't you? She's passionate. She's an expert. That's what happens when you're passionate about something. Mary is passionate about relationships, parents and teens. She's passionate about spending time with the people you love. She's passionate about the educational system. She's passionate about parents. I mean, nobody really cares about parents. Think about it. Who cares about parents? No one. It's not even a category if you think about it, right? It's elderly,
Absolutely.
it's children, it's pets, it's babies, it's veterans, it's moms, right? But it's not parents. So I applaud Mary on creating her own niche. And here's the deal. When you create your own lane, you have no competition. Period, point blank, only collaboration. So I love that. So let's go back to the questions. Thank you, Bar, for that. Awesome. Well, this is a question that I asked you. How soon of starting a company or corporation can I put my house and car in my company's name?
Immediately.
Did you guys hear that? Immediately.
Yeah. As soon as you obtain your employer identification number, you can immediately title everything over to your corporation. And I highly recommend that you do.
Wow. Highly recommend. Hint,
highly
hint.
recommend.
Hint,
I
hint,
think there's
hint.
several things that people need to have. You need to have a nonprofit, you need to have a trust, and any assets you have need to be transferred over to your corporate entity.
Nonprofit and trust. I don't know about you guys, but I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. Okay. She is dropping knowledge. And later on, if you want to have a private conversation, I'm not sure if she's taking clients because I know the threshold of income that she deals with, but take this information. Listen, they say knowledge is power, but that is not true. It's execution of knowledge is what make it power. And here's the deal with Google. You can go and Google a lot of things, but Google just picks up the information from everyone else, right? This is laser focused, years of experience, over 30 years of experience. So take the knowledge. You may not need it today, but you may need it in the future. Now I'm not going to say may, you will need it in the future. And especially if you want to help a friend or your children, or you want to create an entity. Listen, we talked about this being the last months of this fourth quarter. Why not start a business now? Why not?
That's right. Absolutely.
Why
Get it in
not?
before year end.
Wow. Oh, get it in. But I didn't know you were a rapper too. Get it in before year end. I love it. So what do you mean when you say that? Get it in before
Well,
year
basically, if you have an idea, I don't believe in, I believe in taking advantage of the moment. If you have an idea, Because one of the great things about when you obtain an employer identification number, which most people call an EIN number, and that's just the abbreviation for it, is that they can sit on it. If you're not even ready to launch your business, at least get your business name and your employer identification number set up. And the great thing about it is that the more your business age, the more valuable it becomes.
Wow. Yeah, talk about tenure, right? It's like when you've been on a job for a long time, right? And when they do funding, right, they look at how long you've had a business, how long have you been able to maintain
Absolutely.
it. And so that was very pivotal and crucial because listen, if you start a business right now in 2023, you got a lot going on and you're not even ready to implement it, to run it, to do the SOPs, to get clients, etc., marketing, you're not ready to do any of those things. You can keep it. And here, look at this. Even if you never use it, you can gift it to a daughter, a son, your grandchildren, and it will say it was been effective for 10 years. Why
That's right.
not position our children and grandchildren for success? I wish that for my 5th birthday, my mom could have gifted me a franchise or a huge check or a business. And so that is awesome. Thank you, Barb, for sharing
In
that.
addition to that, Tina, you can sell it. You can sell your corporation, and the more aged it is, the more valuable it is.
Wow. Awesome. That's a multiple stream of income. She talked about selling a business. There's a place that called Buy Sell Biz. They have franchises. They have other businesses that people have built up from the ground. So if you want to have multiple streams of income, or you want to own a business, you don't have to start it from scratch, right? You don't have to recreate the wheel. You can find a business that's actually thriving. A friend of mine, Carl Marcare, he bought a business that was already grossing. Are you ready? $6,000 a month.
Wow.
And he bought it
That's
for less
awesome.
than $6,000, and it was already grossing $6,000 a
Sure.
month. Another friend of mine bought a laundromat. So go to Buy Sell Biz, or something of that nature. I'll drop it in a chat, but that's important. Now we'll go to the third question. Let's see.
Sure.
Something that's different. How much of a down payment would you need to buy a home or a car in your company's name?
Actually, that is your mortgage lender should answer that question for you. Because, we purchased our home, but my husband's a veteran. So, it varies depending on what your situation is.
Wow.
As far as being able to purchase it and buying it through your business, you can do that depending on whether you're set up under the right corporate entity or not. Okay, because all businesses are not going to be eligible to just jump out there and buy a home. You're going to have to be the guarantor for it. So you're
Wow.
not just going to be buying it through your business entity. You have to also be a guarantor. So I just want you guys to be very clear about that. In addition to that, at some point, you can build your credit over years. And once you built your credit over your business credit over the years, then you can certainly be in a position where you can stop using your personal information to guarantor it.
Hey,
But
come
according
through.
to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, no business credit can be reported on your personal credit file.
Wow, that's awesome. So I hope you guys, oh wait, let's see. Okay, we have people commenting in the chat. Wow, look at this. Okay, let's see. Hashtag live, awesome. How wonderful, Dr. Judy. Amazing, love this. We have Vanessa Blackwell said, hello, ladies. Yes, hello. Hey, everyone. I love it. If you are getting value, I would love for you to go to, ready? I want you to go to either YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter, and I want you to put hashtag Barbara. I want you to, I'm going to put up her website and her email, because she's also not just a genius at taxation. She's also a brand new #1 best-selling author of a book called The Fallen Pedestal. It's unbelievable. And we'll talk about that in a moment. So I'm going to go back to the questions. Let's see.
Okay.
Awesome. Anyone else have any questions? We can go ahead and take the questions. Let's see. All righty. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Awesome. They said, Tina, since you said she's a genius and she knows about money, ask her the fastest way to become a millionaire.
Actually, you know what? Staying focused, being determined. One of the things that I will say, and I actually had taken some really valuable notes for you guys today, financial literacy, taxation, and entrepreneurship is an internet, they connect. They're all a part of one pillar. And so once you've, decided that this is the direction that you want to move into, you're unstoppable. Your
Wow.
determination, you define your destiny. No one else does. And if you're driven and you know exactly what direction you want to go into, you determine the time. No one else to do that for you. You do that for yourself. But it's all about staying focused and being determined.
Wow. I totally agree. I totally agree because, Barb, I literally made my first six figures outside of medicine in 45 days, and I was blown away. And it only happened because I was laser focused. I did not allow any negativity, any naysayers, any dream
Sure.
killers or business stealers to get in the way. And when I made seven figures, I had no idea that I had made it, but I know I was laser focused on being a millionaire. And it was like nonstop, no matter what. I didn't care what people thought, what they said. I just totally put blinders on like the horse to win my race. And it was unbelievable, unbelievable. And I can tell you this, Global Women Speakers will be a multi-million-dollar organization. I am not even including that in the monies that I already make because I made a commitment to myself that I don't want to be a has-been. I don't want to have a story. I want to continue to create new ones. And on the way of creating a new story, a new seven-figure business, a new seven-figure pillar, blueprint, strategy to show someone else how to do it, that I was going to start from literally from scratch, not put any money into it, use free programs, free products, such as Calendly and JotForm and MailChimp and all these other things that you can get for free, because I want to go and help the people who need it the most, the people who didn't have a family of business owners and was not willed or inherited, a business, or had a father that taught them how to have a business, or a mom. So that's my soft spot. Those are the people that I know I've been called to serve. At the same time, helping women who will put in the work, who have emotional intelligence, who's willing to invest in themselves and simply just make it happen. Period, point blank. Yes. And Vanessa Blackwell, she is a publisher. Her story is amazing. She's absolutely a veteran as well. She is a publisher. She's the creator of Life You Imagine. She's a beast when it comes to books. I can say that. And so, Vanessa Blackwell, thank you for being here. And so let's go. More questions. Can I get a drum roll, please? Let's bring Mary back. Mary may have a question or two because this is huge. Mary, are you there? You see what you started? You talked about tax benefits from having a business. And now you didn't know that we had the expert behind the stage waiting to answer some questions. So Mary, do you have a question?
They say nothing happens by coincidence, right? It's only guidances. And this is definitely one of those opportunities. So what is the difference of putting your house in the name of the trust or your business? Or, is there one benefit over the other?
Actually, the benefit of a trust is for protection. And that's really what it's about. Things happen, life happens. And so if you want to make sure you protect your family legacy, you want to make sure that you're secure. Anything that you put in a trust is secure. That's the only benefit for a trust. And then again, it's going back to leaving a family legacy. You want it to be secured through a trust. And I believe your next question was related to doing it through your business. Is that correct? Well, it's not personal debt. Your business carry that, whether it's a liability or whether it's something that you own. And this is the biggest thing that I've seen over the years is that generally people, when they go into whether it's to a tax professional or wherever they go, whoever they go to, whether it's a CPA or just a regular tax person, they only drop off or email a profit and loss. I'm going to ask you, ladies, what is the benefit of sending a P&L if you don't send a balance sheet? What do you think that the banks are going to look at? You think they want to see your P&L, or you think they want to see your balance sheet? This is back to what your question is related to your business. Banks want to see your balance sheet. Your balance sheet tells what the value of your business. So if you have all these amazing assets, whether it's a home, whether it's, my business partner and I, we own our own commercial building. So whether you own all of those assets, we own vehicles through our corporation, multiple things. And so when your bank is looking at it because you want to get a line of credit.
Barb, hold on. Here at Sunday Speaker Series, we have something called a pause break. Did you just say you own a commercial building?
I do.
I'm about to get up and run around this house. Hold on one second. So ladies, we talk about leveled up, right? Like she didn't say, oh, I own my home. Oh, I own a car. I own my diamonds. She didn't say, I own my Chanel.
I own those too.
Oh, I know. But she owns a commercial building. And so I don't own anything, ladies. Nothing at all. And so my desire is to own a commercial building, a hotel, or an apartment building. That's what I want. And I am positioning myself to do exactly that.
Absolutely.
On top of having a yacht and maybe a private plane, just all of these things, you just never know. But so Barb, I appreciate that because, I would think they want to see, your profit and loss of what you lost, but a balance sheet. So, I want you to talk.
They want to see it, but your profit and loss only gives your income and expenses. Your balance sheet tells the bank what assets you have. They want to know that you have assets. They want to say that what did they say? You got skin in the game.
Right.
Wow, so whenever you're going in, there's a lot of banks out there that will definitely, a profitable business, you can get up to millions of dollars in a line of credit, providing that you have assets.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I generally, if I'm, looking at someone who's a new client, if they don't bring me a balance sheet, the first thing I'm asking them is, what is your assets? How do I help you to level up? What do I need to do to advise you accordingly or to get you in a position now where we can take you? Because I believe in OPM, other people money.
Period.
I'm definitely not interested in
Mary, do you believe in OPM? Mary, you believe?
So that's the key. But always go to a financial advisor who's going to talk to you about your balance sheet, because you can't produce a P&L without populating a balance sheet.
Wow.
And anyone who's ever did QuickBooks, even when we was in high school, knows they go hand in hand.
Wow. I love it. I don't know about you, but I've gotten a lot of information. I mean, Mary, this nuggets, this is not just your everyday, oh, I'm going to go on a podcast. I want to talk about this. Exactly. No, that's not what we do here at Sunday Speaker Series. It is to empower you, your brand, your business, and your bank account. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that the information that doctoral candidate, Dr. Barbara Odom, is sharing is pivotal, not just for you, but for your business and for your legacy. We have to create things that outlast us. Absolutely. We're talking about Mary and her father. They have a book. That book is not going anywhere. It will forever be available on Amazon, whether it's 10 years or 100. That book will always be available, sharing her father's legacy, questions that she wanted answered. And so I encourage you.
And Mary, even 100 years from now, what's so amazing about your being a book publisher is that someone can pick up your book and read it.
Yes.
100, when we're long gone, well, I'll probably still be here because I wouldn't live to be 160, but 100 years from now.
Since you have no money problems, then you get to live 160.
I'm financially stable, thank God for that. But I've learned over the years, but one of the great things about it's an honor to be a book publisher. It really is.
Love it.
It's something, again, it goes back to legacy as well. So I commend you guys for that. Do you know that only between 1% to 2% of people in the entire world actually publish a book?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Congratulations.
Wow. This is awesome. I don't know about you ladies and gentlemen that love us, but we are having an absolute blast on Sunday Speaker Series, sponsored by Global Women Speakers. Yes. Having not just having a blast. We're talking about sisterhood. Go ahead, Mary. Yeah, we're talking about sisterhood. We're sharing. Listen, the things that Barbara has shared just on this episode, I mean, honestly, we can ask for a cash app. We can ask for a Zelle. We can ask for you to mail a check, because the information that she's given will save you not just hundreds, but thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And not only just save you, but get this. You ready? It will get you hundreds of thousands of dollars as well.
Absolutely.
So, Barbara, I thank you for being here. I thank you for giving this information. So I would like to know, you talked about a balance sheet.
Yes.
So if you don't have any assets, will you have a balance sheet? Like
if you have a business bank account with a business savings account, most people will get an operating account, checking account, but they don't get a business savings. There's a whole bunch of reasons, and time won't allow us to get into all the intricate details, but why you need a business savings. Number one, you need to put money in reserve. You need to put money aside for taxes if you have employees and you're paying W-2 wages. You need to actually make sure that all of that money is set aside in your business savings. And the business reserve is the biggest thing I advise my clients throughout the whole year, all the time. Make sure that throughout every quarter, you're transferring money in your business savings. And this is the real nugget. Anything in your business savings is non-taxable.
Hold up. Pause, break. Hold on. Let me just turn around.
You're funny.
I had to turn around. I had to turn around and do a 360, not a 180. I had to do a 360. Okay. So did you, ladies, I'm going to ask Barbara Odom to repeat exactly what she said, because that was not just a nugget, that was a gold mine. So Dr. Barbara Odom, doctoral candidate, back over to you. I just need you to repeat that. I need somebody to hashtag business saving account. Hashtag business saving account right now. Right now. Go ahead, LinkedIn. Go ahead, YouTube, Facebook. Go ahead, Twitter, and go ahead and drop hashtag business saving account, because you heard it here on Sunday Speaker Series, sponsored by Global Women Speakers. I am just saying, listen, I'm working on getting Barbara to come to GlobalCon, which will be in Dubai, December 17th through the 20th. Either whether she come virtually or physically, she must be on our speaker lineup, period, point blank. So with that being said, Barb, can you repeat that one more again?
Again, and everyone, if you have an operating account, a checking account, business account, because I'm not an advocate on commingling. If you're operating and you're getting business income, you need to have a business operating account. In addition to that, you need to have a business savings account, because all businesses go through stages where your income is not flowing as actively. So you always want to make sure you have cash reserves. That's the biggest thing for going into your business savings. You transfer it from your checking over to your savings. Anything in your business savings is non-taxable. However, if it stays in your operating account, it is taxable income.
Wow. I love it. I just learned something. I know I'm not the only one. If you just learn something right there. So here's the deal. It's extremely important, whatever you think about presidents, whatever you think about, Congress, whatever you think about our politicians, we have to become responsible, especially women. We have to become responsible for our own financial future. It's not about who's in the White House, ladies. It's about who's in our house. That's why we have people like Mary, like Barbara, like Della Toro, like Les Brown, like Derrick Harper, like Eric Zuley, like Kate Hancock, like Erica Sheffield, like Lori Curtis, like, all of these people that have come, like Dr. Sherry, Dr. Judy, like Nakia, like all of these Global Women Speakers members that come and share, take the nuggets. Listen, you may not feel that it applies to you, but I love watermelon. So I'm going to eat it like watermelon. When people give me information, I take it like watermelon. I eat the red meat and I spit out the seeds. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. If you heard from Jennifer Marcus, if you heard from Glendora Divine, if you heard from Whitney Coleman, all of these women come here and share their expertise that they've invested years of their life, that they will never get back, years of their life to come and give it freely here. No one's paid to be here. No one's paying to be here, nor is anyone paid to be here. This, ladies, listen, I want you to listen up really closely. Now, all of us can make a lot of money and be successful in business. We all can. But there's a different thing when you have a paradigm shift and you start not just living a life of making money and being successful, but when you start living a life of significance and contribution. Sunday Speaker Series is a contribution. To have every single Sunday, same time for 42 weeks. Can we give a huge shout out for 42 weeks? Yes. Yes. I mean, it's a contribution. And so our only hope, our only prayer is that you take this information and that you implement it into your daily lives, that you implement into your relationships, into your businesses. We are here to leave people better than they were when we first found them. With that being said, Barb, if there is anything that you want to share that was not asked that you think is imperative to having a successful business, that's imperative to making sure that you don't get clink clink or you don't have the IRS coming knocking at your door. If you can just share freely with us, we are welcome. You are welcome to do so. I am going to go to the back and I'm going to take my friend Mary with me and Miss Barbara, or should I say the Dr. Odom. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Sure. I will end this in a conclusion, basically saying that I commend all of you for, being a part of this and, and your willingness to learn and get information that's going to be certainly very, very beneficial to your life. I would advise anyone that if you're ready to start a new business, if you're moving forward with anything that you're doing, certainly seek out a tax professional. Generally, a CPA or a tax attorney would be your best person to pursue in regards to wanting to start a new business entity. Enroll agents generally have a little bit lesser experience than most CPAs or tax attorneys, but certainly anyone that you think that you can trust, I would definitely seek that advice in terms of getting your new business entity set up, anything related to taxation, anything about how to get started. Generally, it takes money to make money, so you're certainly going to have to at some point hire a professional to point you in the right direction. But again, I just want to thank you guys for having me on today. And I would encourage all of you to follow your dreams because you can achieve anything that it is that you want in life.
Boom, boom, boom. That was a mic drop. Wow. Thank you so much for being here, taking time from your doctoral studies, taking time from your husband, from your family. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. We cannot wait to hear you come back and talk about falling pedestal.
The falling pedestal, yes.
Yes. So really quickly, if you don't mind sharing the story behind why did you decide to write a book, number one, and then two, the title, The Falling Pedestal. Tell me about that.
Well, actually, the falling pedestal was something that was inspired by stories. As you're aware, I'm certainly a doctoral candidate at Regent University in Virginia Beach, and I decided to go into psychology. So people ask me all the time, like, oh my God, Miss Odom, you're a CPA. Why would you go into not get another degree in finance, right? And I said, you know what? When you really understand the human mind, you can be more of an asset to a person, especially in the financial arena, right? So, I have been told many stories over the years about things, but one of the things that I'm really passionate about is the underprivileged families and people that are incarcerated and coming out of prison and don't have the privilege of being able to, or don't know how to get restarted. Because I believe that prison is modern day slavery. And I just feel that there's just a vast group of people that are out there that have been blemished, whether they're underprivileged families, meaning living on a lower income, or whether they're just trying to get a restart in life. And that's what really inspired me about writing the book. It's about a young lady that shared her story with me about 20 years ago. And she always wanted to share her story. So even though the majority of the book is based on fiction, it's based on a person's character and about where they went from being fallen and the expectations that was placed on them. The book is about transformation and about how
Wow.
you can actually fall and get back up and restart your life and live your best life.
Wow. I absolutely adore it. I have an autographed copy for myself, but I also have multiple copies, just so I can bless others with. And here's the deal. Honestly, how many more books do we need? How many books do we have in our bookcases, on our desk, in our backpacks, in our car, in our briefcases, around the house? But there are some books that stays with us because we will read them, we will listen to them, whether it's by audio, whether it's by Kindle, or whether we have the tangible physical book, because I'm a tangible physical person. And I started reading The Fallen Pedestal, on my way home, which I was like, this is unreal. This is unreal. And I encourage each and every one of you, Barb, can you please tell them how to get The Fallen Pedestal? Because it's not your typical book. When you can take real life, combine it with fiction, right? Everyone wants to write about their stories, right? We want people to know our story because we want our voices heard, and rightfully so. But when you can take a twist on reality and pair it with fiction, it is intriguing, it's engaging, it's compelling, and it's riveting. And so I encourage you to get the book, The Fallen Pedestal. So Barb, can you tell them where to get your book at?
Actually, if you go under Amazon.com, because I'm the #1 bestseller right now on Amazon, the minute you type in The Fallen Pedestal, it comes right up.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you.
And right
so
now
much.
I'm only selling it on Amazon.
Okay, awesome, fantastic. We love that. So, and also Mary, as I share with you all, she wrote a book with her father. And I would love for Mary to tell you all how to get that book. When you have not a mother and a daughter, but a father, like a male figure that's still in your life. Like I know for a fact, Mary, and I shared it with you, and I'm sharing it with the world. I my biological father, I was raised by my stepdad with my mom, but having, your own father, there's something special about that. And I adore that so much because there is nothing like having, the man that birthed you, that you take on his attributes, or are your characteristics or the same, and just being in that environment. I think that is so powerful. And if I don't know anything else, I'm speaking for myself. I wanted my father's physical presence. I wanted his love, not another man's love. And I'm so grateful that I didn't get caught up in looking for a father's love, not saying it's anything wrong with that. And I applaud and pray and send positive energy, love, and light to women who that's their story, because I take nothing away from anyone. I'm strictly talking about me and my experience. I think mine was, I had the other spectrum where it was like, you know what? I'm going to make it happen no matter what. It's not what I lack, it's what I have. I'm going to take what I had. And if I don't know anything else, I know that I am going to multiply it exponentially. I don't do addition. I'm not good. I don't love subtraction. I am going to multiply exponentially what I have. It's not, ladies, we didn't choose our parents. We didn't choose the neighborhoods we were born in. We didn't choose the hospital. We had absolutely nothing to do with it. So stop allowing it to affect who you are. Because here's the deal. Being born in poverty was not a choice. Staying broke, staying in poverty, that's a choice.
Absolutely.
Right? So growing up without is hard, but continuing to not have is hard. You get to choose your hard. Working hard, making sacrifices is hard. You get to choose your hard. Now, I know for myself, being a teenage mother, living in the projects on welfare, been to prison, like all of these things, they were hard. But you know what? Taking my daughter to school with me because I didn't have a babysitter, that was hard.
Sure.
Studying after I fed my daughter and put her to sleep from, listen, from 11 to 2 a.m., 4 hours every single night without fail. Going to bed at 2, finally falling asleep at 2:30 because I'm still thinking about what I studied, to get back up at 6. Now, that's hard. But what I'm saying to you, ladies, is like Nelson Mandela says, it always seems hard until it's done. And you can do it. You can do it. You were made for this. It's in your DNA. Now, listen, men only have one X chromosome. We have 2. So we can be double bad, right? We can be double bad. Let's take our rightful positions. Let's be that helpmate. But we have to help ourselves first. We're always giving everything to everyone else. But it's your turn, sis. It's your turn. I love Dr. Judy so much because she says self-care is selfish and it's a necessary selfish. And so I embrace that. I love that. And so, Mary, can you please tell us a little bit about your book? I know your story, but I don't want to keep it to myself. And it's not my story to tell. I would love for you to share with our Global Women Speakers community, with LinkedIn, with YouTube, with Facebook, with Twitter. Go ahead and share the story about why would you decide to write a book, not with your daughters, not with your husband, not with your sister, not with a group of other women, collaboratively, but you chose your dad. Tell us about that.
Well, I'll tell you that. Thank you once again, Tina. And with my father, I know that when he told me that he would have wished to write a book, I said, it's not too late. You get to write a book and we're going to do it together. And he was so happy. I remember, just as if it was yesterday, I said, we're going to do it together. And I said, what is the book called? And he said, Espíritus Esclavos. In Spanish, that is enslaved spirits. And I asked him, what is this book about? And he goes, it's about people that give up on their dreams because they're focused on doing what they think is right, what society wants them to do, what they feel guilty about doing, even if they're not even meant to do, they do. And this is the book that's going to liberate them to feel that they're here for a purpose. People are here. You're put in this world for a purpose. And if you're doing something other than what you have been put in this world to do, then your spirit, your soul is a slave. And too many people fought for freedom. And just now hearing Barbara, mentioning, how the prison, people are in prison, and that's a different type of slavery, right? The slavery right now. And to think that people live and they seem to be free, yet they're going and showing up to the job that they don't want. They're living in a home that they wish it was in a different situation. And this book just gives you that sense of freedom. Like, I deserve this. I am worthy. I matter. And I'm going to go for it. And if this man who came to a country where he did not speak the language, where he worked in Parks and Recreation, there was a point that he was so determined he was going to buy his house. He started collecting cans. And he says, I'm going to sell this aluminum, get some money for it. It'll be a savings account. Every day, yes, there he goes, my dad, collecting cans. And he bought not one house, not 2, not 3. He bought apartment, duplex, a triplex. And that was how he created his legacy. That's how I get to continue his legacy. And I feel that I'm so happy and so proud that this is the story. It's called Enslaved Spirits. Enslaved Spirits.
No. Pause break. Your dad came to a country where it was not his language. Number one, it was not his dialect. Number two is he had a dream so big that he had to save for it. Number 3 is he had to do whatever it took. And if that literally took cans, collecting aluminum cans in big bags, I could just see your dad doing that. And there is something that's so powerful when his legacy was so much bigger than him. He didn't care about being embarrassed. He didn't care about picking up cans. He was laser focused and intentional on his goal. How many times have we started to do something, but people laughed at us? They told us it would never happen. They didn't support us. We cared about how we looked, how we felt, what people would think. This man cared more about his family, his children, and his dream and his legacy more than anything else. I am asking you, I'm beseeching you, and I'm talking to myself, Tina, I want you to have that bulldog tenacity. I want you to have that perseverance. I want you to have that mental fortitude that when you're picking up a can and you're tired and you're hungry and your hands are dirty and liquid is coming out of the cans onto your clothing and it's soiled, that when you're tiptoeing, digging in the can because the can is bigger than you and you look back and somebody's watching, somebody's coming to take their trash out, that you do not be troubled, nor be dismayed, nor be distracted. Don't lean to the left nor to the right, but stay laser focused on that can and the goal of that can. Like, that is so powerful. Mary, you just talking about your dad, and by me seeing him and knowing him. And I mean, like, I got chill bumps. You know, Mary's dad wanted me to eat. I was hungry. She had picked me up from the airport and I was tired and famished. And he was like, no, you're going to eat. You have to, you have to. He wanted to give me money. He wanted to do anything to make sure that I was okay. He did not know me, but he loved me indeed. Like, ladies, I know we hear it all the time that people have big hearts. There are still good people in the world, and it is. It is. And when you come across those people that love you genuinely, that will give to you freely, don't lose them. Do not allow someone else's opinion of someone that you love, someone who's did you right, someone who's done good in your life. Do not allow that to come between them. I am telling you, people will be leeches and leech onto you to recruit you, to destroy someone's person, their reputation, their dream, their business. Don't do it, because there is something called karma. There is something that's called your turn. Mm-hmm. The key is you want to surround yourself with people who will not stay around when there's negative things being said, who will not be around people who do not fit their core values. And your core value should be integrity. It should be love. It should be communication. It should be forgiveness. It should be grace and mercy. It should be all of those things. And if it's the opposite, the antithesis, it's no need of me saying those. I want you to check yourself, because it will destroy your business. It will destroy your business. And so, Mary, I am just in awe all the time talking about your dad. So how do we get the book? I mean, listen, enslaved spirit, that is powerful within itself. Enslaved spirit. How many of us can honestly say that you feel that you have an enslaved spirit? I know I do. And I feel that I'm living my dream. I feel that I am crushing my goals. I feel that I'm taking people with me. I believe that, you know, I have been Moses and providing opportunities for other people. But there's still a part of me that I know I'm not living up to my potential. Mm-hmm. I know that I am not. I know it, because I have to make some huge decisions in my life that are uncomfortable, that I don't want to make. But I know in order to perpetuate a legacy, I have to do it. I have to do it. There are opportunities waiting for me in other places, not my hometown. And so one of the big decisions is relocating. Do I really want to do that? No, I love California. I love the weather. I love the beaches. I love looking at the ocean. Who wants to get out of bed and not look at the ocean? No, I love it. But there's opportunity awaiting for me elsewhere. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that the same God who gave me all that I have and all that I've lost will give me so much more. And not only that, it's so rewarding when you can help other people. Because sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, the opportunity that is in front of you is really not for you. It's not for you. It's for the people that are attached to you, whether it's your children, your family, your grandparents, whether it's a friend, whether it's a client, whether it's someone you haven't even met yet. Because God doesn't call the equipped. You don't have to know how. He doesn't call the equipped. He equips. He equips the called. And I know we're all called for such a time as this. And so I'm going to bring Barbara back. We're going to give some last parting words. And then I want to give away a raffle. Ladies, I have been richly blessed by this episode. I am in awe of Mary N. Dominguez as well as the Barbara Odom. And so, Barbara, we brought you back for a reason. I would love for each of you to give parting words, and then we're going to close it out. We are at, I think it's 2.5 hours. We have 10 minutes to the top of the hour from 12 to 2. It's a 2-hour episode. Our first time starting this, it was 14 long hours. And I can tell you, people popped in and shared and left and came back. Even Les Brown was like, I'm like, listen, I just wanted you to pop in for 15 minutes, say a little something. But he just kept coming in and people loved it. We had Derrick Harper, who is an incredible father, husband. He has 25 businesses, and 2 of them are 8-figure businesses. He helps other people become multimillionaires. He's powerful. We've had a friend of mine, Kate Hancock from the Philippines, who actually took $20 and turned it into 20 million via Amazon arbitrage. We had DeMont Nixon, who talked about trust, who is also a multimillionaire. We had Delatoro McNeil, who is at the top of his game in speaking. His speaking fee to corporation is over $30,000, and he does it full time. He speaks full time, not for play, not part time. He's paid to speak. It is his career. Who would like to speak and get paid $40,000 for an hour, 2-hour keynote? I know I would, right? And so I promised, and I made a commitment. And my promise is that I will only bring the best of the best. And we're going to close this year out with a bang because we have some powerful people that I'm saving. But here's the deal. Do you know what we're going to do on December 31st? We're going to do a 24-hour episode. It's going to be on Zoom, a 24-hour episode. Women have committed to popping in between cooking their New Year's Eve dinner, to spending time with their family, to shopping, to pop in and share not just their story, because stories are amazing. I want tips. I want tools. I want techniques. I want blueprints. I want strategies that's going to change my life. They are transformational. That's what we're looking for here. And so, ladies, Mary and the Dr. Barbara Odom doctoral candidate, I would love for you to give us a takeaway that they can take home, put in their pocket, pull it out as a reference guide. Mary, I would love for you to do the same thing. Matter of fact, Dr. Odom, if you can go first, Mary, then over to you. Then I'll take you guys into the back office and I'll close this out. Thank you for being here from the top of my heart. I love each of you. You guys are my family, and I am so grateful that I can call on people that are not like-minded, ladies. I don't look for people who are like-minded. I look for those that are like-hearted, and each of you are like-hearted. So I thank you again simply for being here. So Mary and I are going to go to the background. Barb, take it away. Over to you.
Sure. Well, I want to end this evening by saying, first of all, thank you all again for your attention to listening to us and hopefully getting some special nugget out of this that's just perfect for you. I encourage every one of you to enhance each component that we've talked about today. Utilize it to live your best life. Let's embark on a journey towards financial freedom and a brighter tomorrow. And I wish you all a day filled with inspiration. And I'll end it by saying this. Always remember, do not be a victim of learned helplessness. Take care.
Wow. You can't just leave like that. Because learned helplessness, that's a psychology term. And so we need to know what learned helplessness is. Like, you can't leave us like that. Like, we don't want to wait till next Sunday to find that out. We want to know what learned helplessness is. So doctoral candidate, Dr. Barbara Odom, can you please let us know what learned helplessness is? Over to you.
Don't allow your past. Don't allow what you're feeling right now. Don't allow that to affect your moving forward. You determine all of that. And learned helplessness is learned behavior. Because we haven't seen anyone else do it, we assume that we can't do it ourselves. We've seen so much growing up And they said, oh, this is passed down through different generations, but you can change your generation anytime you want to. So that's basically all learned helplessness really means, is that we've gotten so accustomed to not having or not fulfilling that we continue to live our lives like that. So it's as simple as that.
I love it. She said it's just as simple as that. That's how she ends. It's just as simple as that. So awesome. I'm going to do a checklist, daily, and making sure I am not becoming a victim of learned helplessness. And, ladies, there are a lot of things that runs in all of our family, that runs in our generations, that runs in our blood, that runs in our communities, in our household. But here's the deal. You can say it ran in your family, because it ran in my family too, but until it ran into me. And if it's to be, it's up to me. And I know for a fact, just reading a book that I read, a book that I was brought up on, God always chooses one. He always does. And I know for me, I am the David of my family. I know I have to create a legacy. And that's why me making big decisions will affect my family. And so I didn't ask to be chosen, but I know that I was. And, when I was younger and I felt that my mom, treated me differently, I used to say, you know what, am I adopted? Why do I have to do my homework as soon as I come home from school? Why do I?
That would be me.
And I'm like, Mom,
yeah,
why do I get to go? Why? And I used to ask her this. And you know what, Mom, if you are watching, because I'm going to send you the link, I just want to say, Mom, Patricia Ann Lewis, I love you dearly. I am grateful for the sacrifice that you made. I know you've had a very, very rough life. And as I shared with you before, that you never would have to worry about anything in your entire life. I thank you for life. I thank you for the lessons. I thank you for the punishments. I thank you for enduring what you've done so I can be who I am, because everything that I am, I owe to you. And I just say thank you, thank you, thank you. And I know our relationship hasn't always been peaches and cream. It hasn't always been that mother-daughter relationship that you desired, nor I. But I just want to say I thank God for restoration. I thank God for forgiveness. I thank God for what we have to this day. And I am just in awe of what God is doing in my life, for my family. And that is my prayer, Lord. Use me, even if I don't want to go. I'm going to go kicking and screaming, but I'm going to do what I've been predestined and preordained to do. And I will create a legacy for my family. I don't come from a rich family, but I'm here to tell you, ladies, that a wealthy family will come from me. And that's the bottom line.
Amen.
So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now we have the Mary Dominguez. Your parting words, Mary. 1, 2, over to you.
What a perfect segue. Thank you. It means Barbara and also Tina, because when you said learned behaviors, and that is my parting words to you, is those learned behaviors, you get to break away from them. And this is what my book, Influential Parenting, is about. And I invite you to really heal. And that's what I help people with, healing that inner child, making sure that the relationship with your kids are good, relationship with your parents. That's what led me to write my book with my father, and Espíritus Esclavos, which I will be getting translated into English as well. I'll keep you posted. And remember, this is your responsibility. You are not responsible for what happened to you when you came into this earth, but you are responsible of what you will leave behind. So definitely do the work, do the inner work, and know that you are here for a purpose and you're here to thrive. And with the right support, you're going to make it happen. I'm Mary Dominguez.
Woo! I don't know about you guys, but today has been nothing shy of explosive. It's been epic. It's been transformational if you implement the information that's used. And so I just want to say thank you so much, Mary. Thank you so much, the Barbara Odom. Mary, I love you, girly. I appreciate you. And let's talk to them about Global Women in Education. Global Women in Education. Mary is going to be the visionary of our project, Global Women in Education. As she mentioned, she's been in education. Mary, reiterate, tell them again, how long have you been in education?
I taught for 25 years. And
Wow.
if we add up the time that I was a student, still being a student, that's a lot of years.
Right. So over 20 years in the educational sector, I have compiled, like literally we have 10 women right now that are going to be a part of Global Women in Education. And if you're an educator, if you're an administrator, if you're an adjunct professor, if you're an auxiliary staff or anything in the educational sector, we want you. We are going to close it out at 12. I love 12, God's numbers of disciples, right? I love 12. We're going to do 12 or 20, but we're closing it out before the end of this month. We also have Global Women in Business that we're launching at our Dubai conference. I'm going to tell you more about that in a moment. But Mary, thank you so much. Besos y abrazos. And I'm going to challenge you to buy the book, even in Spanish, and just, make it a class. I love Spanish. I believe everyone should learn Spanish. I believe that it is the primary language, no matter what, the states say or statistics, it is the number one language in America. And I learned Spanish when I was 15 years old. It was hilarious because in my junior high school, we had to learn 2 languages out of 3. And it was it was Spanish, French, and Swahili. And you would have thought that I would have learned French and Spanish, correct? I did not. I said, you know what? I'm going to do Spanish because I love Spanish. And I was around Spanish speaking speakers and I wanted to learn Spanish. So I learned Spanish. And then no one was going to the Swahili. And I'm like, I'm going to go over there and it's going to be me and the teacher. I've always been salmon. I wanted to swim where everyone wasn't. Everyone else was swimming downstream and I was salmon swimming upstream. I've been that way all along. I will take the road of less travel. I will create a highway. I will create, a bridge, a dam, whatever it needs to be. I am going to go that way and I'm going to create it. And so I learned Swahili, right? And me learning Spanish, my first job was at Taco Bell. And all the people would say, you know what, this is America. You should learn English. And I could tell them, no, you teach me Spanish, I'll teach you English. And so I began to learn Spanish and I started taking Spanish classes all the time. I wanted it to be an asset, so much so that I, as an English speaker, as an American, was able to be compensated and paid bilingual pay for speaking Spanish. I was able to teach other English speakers how to speak Spanish. And so if I can encourage you ladies to do anything, take up a different hobby, learn a new language, travel somewhere you've never been, try a brand new food, explore, live your life. Don't just exist, live your life to the fullest. And so, Mary, thank you so much for being here. I am honored and I appreciate you. We have 60 seconds. So I'll be backstage in a moment. Thank you, Mary, for being here. And of course, the Barbara Odom as well. So ladies, I just wanted to come to you right now and just say this. You are going to have obstacles. It's going to be hard. There are going to be challenges. There are going to be people who do not believe in you. There are going to be people who talk about you. There's going to be people who use you. There are going to be people who have learned from you. You've changed their life. You helped them make money and they will not give you credit. They will praise you privately. You already know the story, but I'm going to say, do not be dismayed nor be discouraged. I promise you that the doors will continue to open. They will continue. Everybody can't go with you. That's just the reality, right? There's a parable that I like to use that Moses was taking people to the promised land. And God told him, leave those people. They're complaining, they're murmuring, they're gossiping. Leave them. And he's like, no, I got to take them. I got to take them. I got to take them. And so he didn't get a chance to go to the promised land. Don't let that be you. Do not let that be you. Do not let that be you. I know you felt you were called for single women, but if they're not following and open, that's not your tribe, right? And so, ladies, I want to give you some updates that we have with Global Women Speakers. We have five events coming up. They can be virtual or physical. Number 1 is the Philippines. Yes, the Philippines. We have Puerto Rico coming up. We also have the UK and London. We have Cape Town, and we'll talk more about that one. That's a surprise. But we also have Dubai. Our conference is going to be in Dubai December 17th through the 20th, and it's going to be epic. If you want to know more about that, go ahead and go to globalcon.info. 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 It should be in the chat. Globalcon.info. Put in your information. You will get a phone call and you will get an email. It's going to be explosive. I'm talking about 2 days of conferences, but not all day. We're not doing all day, right? We're going to do 4 to 6 hours on each day. You're going to have breaks. You're going to have snacks. You're going to have a charging station for your electronics. The men will have a place where they can collaborate and network. It's going to be epic. That's all I can tell you right now. But go to globalcon.org. Globalcon.info. I'm excited. I get tongue-tied. Globalcon.info. Globalcon.info. And check it out. Mary, if you can go there and check it out, make sure it's working. That would be fantastic. So that's number one, right? We have all these events coming up. If you would like to be a speaker, if you're looking to expand your reach, if you are looking to go global, then go to globalwomenspeakers.com, globalwomenspeakers.com, because I can tell you this, come January 2024, it's going to be a total different ball game. I encourage you to do it now. Do not wait. Don't just sit on the sidelines and watch. You don't want to do that. You don't want to sit on the sidelines and watch, and you definitely don't want to listen to someone else's opinion. You want to try it for yourself, because I'm here to tell you, and I can say this without a blink of an eye and without hesitation, every single person who have come through, been associated with Global Women Speakers, has had opportunities for visibility, exposure. Their businesses have been implemented, started, changed, or they went in a new direction. And so I want to give away a $50 gift card. And so how I can do that by giving away a $50 gift card, we're going to give away $150, a $100 gift card or Cash App, and a $50. But this is how you win. I want you to do three things, and you would be in a drawing. And I would do that drawing tonight, no matter what. I will do the drawing tonight live in our Global Women Speakers group. I am going to do a drawing live in Global Women Speakers 2023, our Facebook community. And this is what you must do. Number one, you must go to our Facebook group, Global Women Speakers 2023. You must do three things. One, you must like Global Women Speakers on Instagram. Go to Global Women Speakers on Instagram. That's number one. Number two, you have to share this episode. Share this episode. It will show us who shared it. Share it on Facebook, share it on YouTube. You can choose one of the platforms, but you must share it. So number one, you must follow us on Instagram, Global Women Speakers. We just created, and we're going to grow our Global Women Speakers Instagram. I can tell you this, I'm putting money behind it. It's going to be amazing. We're going to highlight women speakers, that we're going to highlight their businesses. We're going to highlight their products. So number one, go and follow Global Women Speakers on Instagram. Number two, share this episode on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn. Share this episode. And number three, you have to send me an email that you've done those two things, right? And you can send me an email at speak@globalwomenspeakers.com. That's it. Those little three things, and you will be in a drawing. And that the reason why I want you to do those three things, because those three things are traceable. We can know that you've actually done it. It will be two prizes. Actually, let's make it three, right? Let's make it $100 Visa gift card or Cash App, however you want to receive it, 100, 50, and 25. So three prizes. And we're going to do the drawing tonight in our Global Women Speakers 2023 group. I just want to bless someone. I know it's not a lot, but it's a thought, right? It's a thought. And what I do know is that with gas prices, you can go get some gas. Not just gas prices, you can go get a meal. You can pay a cell phone bill, or you can just have it and go out and treat yourself to a drink, a meal, or do whatever you want to do with it. And so, ladies, I just want to say thank you for being here. This is monumental for us at Global Women Speakers. This is our 42nd episode. I am blown away. And so we're having a grand finale on December 31st. It will be for 24 hours via Zoom. We have 100 slots. And so we'll give you more information on that, because we want to make sure that everyone has their bio fit. And then you have to have a product. We want you to sell something. And we're going to have a special Black Friday event, 100 slots where you can come and talk and sell your products, because people will be shopping. People will be shopping. And the last two things I want to say is, if you really want to maximize these last days, it doesn't matter what you didn't do. I promise you, it does not matter. Championships are made in the fourth quarter, the last inning. That's when championships are made. And I promise you, if you allow me to help, I can help you leverage these last days to maximize the time you have left. And either you want to earn more money, you want to create a product, you want more visibility, more exposure. If you want to be a part of any of our Global Women series, Global Women in Business, Global Women in Education, Global Women in Real Estate, Global Women in PR, Media, and Entertainment, Global Women in, we have a plethora of series, and our first three are going to be Global Women in Business, Global Women in Education, and Global Women, I'll tell you the third one later, but it's going to be explosive. You can also send an email to speak@globalwomenspeakers.com or admin@globalwomenspeakers.com. Last and final, listen, you got to come to Dubai. You got to come to Dubai. Why not close this year out with a bang? Yes, go get your passports. If you don't have your passports, listen, he said, go into the nations. Go into the nations. Go. You're not a tree. Go explore the world. If the world is his and the fullness thereof, that means it's yours too. Or if you just simply want to come out and hang out, then come. But I promise you, Dubai is pristine. No crime. It's beautiful. It's luxurious. The people are friendly. The food is great. And Global Women Speakers will be there. So I will see you all December 17th through the 20th in Dubai of 2023. And make sure you come back to Sunday Speaker Series every single Sunday without fail. Next Sunday, October the 22nd, 3 p.m. Eastern, 11 Central, and 12 noon Pacific. Dr. Tina D. Lewis, I love you. I appreciate you. God bless you. God bless your family, and God bless your dreams. Goodbye for now. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye-bye.